Hey everybody, Comic Book Steve here again with another haul. This one's a pretty big one. I got my another box that I had ordered from my comic shop from some money I had made selling some statues and toys that I was not necessarily interested in anymore. So, recycling a bit, recycling some of the collection out with the old and with some new stuff. So that was kind of fun. And then last week was a really big new release week for me. So let's get started before this ends up going on too long. So first off, we're going to go with this guy here. I picked up Avengers, all new, all different Avengers #1. I really enjoyed this issue. I'm on board. So I picked this issue up at Newberry. It was $6.99. You can see from the tag down there. The other variant that I wanted, I forget the artist on it, but the other variant I wanted was $11.99. But no worries, because I did find that variant at New England Comics for also $6.99, where it was $11.99 at Newberry. This one was $6.99 at New England, which was pretty nice. I think as far as variants go in the future, I'm probably only going to be picking them up if they're under 10. I think I'm all burnt out on getting variants that are like really expensive. Not that I do it very often, but they're always tempting to get. I'm gonna try to stop that. So yeah, getting this guy for $6.99 was a really nice deal for me. This was definitely my favorite of all the covers that they had put out. So that's that one. Then the next one we got up here is all new, all different Wolverine. This was probably my favorite cover, and this was $5.99 one at Newberry, which was fine for me. That works out. The cover's pretty awesome, obviously evoking the first appearance of Wolverine in Incredible Hulk 181 or 180, and yeah, it just looks great. These don't go for a ton. Neither the Avengers nor the all different Wolverine variants don't go for a ton on eBay right now, which is fine. I got them because I really like the covers. And I actually really enjoyed this issue too, the Wolverine all new. I thought it was way more fun than I thought it would be. So I'll probably stick with it for a little bit, depending on how large my pull list is after I evaluate all these all new, all different Marvel things, because there are quite a bit of Spider-Man books that I'm probably going to be picking up monthly. So there might not be any room for all new Wolverine, but if you're on the fence about it, I really enjoyed it. Then I also got the all new, all different Wolverine. #1, the Art Adams variant. He's one of my favorite artists. This variant is a little underwhelming, but it's still awesome. It's still Art Adams, and that's better than, in my book, that's better than most artists any day. So even though the composition is not entirely A+, it's still high marks for me. And this was another $6.99 one at New England, where I don't think they even had it at Newberry. That's not true. They didn't have it at the Newberry that I went to on Wednesday. Later on in the week, I was at another Newberry that did have it, but they wanted $11.99 for it. And I almost got it, and I'm glad I didn't, because then like I said, I found it at New England for $6.99, so works for me. I'm kind of surprised. Usually New England is the one that up charges a ton on the variants, especially these 1 in 25 variants. But maybe that's a sign of variants kind of cooling down a bit. Maybe they're having a hard time getting rid of them at the prices that they were previously setting them at, and yeah, they had to lower them. So works for me. Getting cool covers for decent prices. So these are all new releases. Yeah, it was a big week. Then I picked up Ultimates #1. I was also looking for the Art Adams variant for this. I didn't find it, but that's fine. I think I got enough here. Yeah, this is pretty decent. I will probably not be continuing with this series. Although I do kind of enjoy it. I would give it like 7, 8 out of 10. It was fun, but there's a lot of a lot of books that I'm gonna be picking up, so something's gotta go. But yeah, I thought it was cool. Illuminati #1. Did not like this issue. Will not be continuing it. Carnage #1. I was not really into this issue. Need to read it again, but right now I'm not interested in picking up any further issues. I felt like it was very generic for like a Carnage book. Like the premise or the focus was on these characters that are hunting down Carnage. So it reminded me a lot of the Venom series that came out in the early 2000s, where it wasn't really. I mean, Venom was like in it a lot, and Carnage is in this a lot, but the main focus is about the characters trying to bring him down. So I think it's a very tired and not interesting premise. So won't really be continuing that. Then we get Spider-Man 2099 #3. I know I said I was going to stop getting this one, and I probably will eventually. The only reason I picked this one up is because I love that cover, for one. And Newberry's still doing their 50% off anything that's $3.99 or under until the end of November. It was supposed to go to the end of October, and then they extended it, so that's pretty awesome. So I decided to grab it anyway, since it was, instead of $4, it was $2. Works for me. Web Warriors #1. This was the only cover that I liked. Wasn't really feeling the regular cover. Usually, I get a little tired of these Scotty Young ones, but this one was the exception. I thought this was kind of cool. And the issue was actually not bad. I'm not thrilled at the premise. I think they're overextending Gwen, and I don't really care about any of the other characters, other than Mayday. If you didn't know, Mayday Parker's in it. So that's kind of cool, even though she's not on any of the covers. So I might continue it. We'll see. But right now, I think it was pretty cool. The art's much better than the lame Secret Wars Spider-Verse book that they had going on. Then we got Radioactive Spider-Gwen #2. Still love this book. Really good stuff. Yeah, just overall enjoying it. And Secret Wars #7. So this was probably one of the weaker Secret Wars installments, and but even that, it was still really awesome. But I think if looking back, if I look back at the last 7 issues, this is definitely the weakest, and you can tell that this used to be like part of one issue that they broke up into 2 to extend the story a bit, which is fine. When this all reads all together in like a hardcover, which I plan on getting because I love the series so much, they'll read really great. But this issue, in and of itself, at the end I was like, hungry for more, which is a good thing, I guess, right? But it was, I almost felt like not enough happened for my taste, compared to like other issues where I felt like it was really chock full of good stuff. There was like one big moment that happens near the end that really saved it for me. Otherwise, it would have been even more generic than it was. But either way, I still think this is the best crossover series that Marvel has done ever. Honestly, I think it's, I think if this sticks the landing, this is gonna go down as my favorite crossover series. Infinity Gauntlet's awesome and everything, but this is so far taking the cake. That cover is pretty fantastic too. There was definitely no variants that could top that cover. And I also got, this was free, this is the Marvel previews for, I don't know what month this is for. But anyway, so I'm showing this off because if you're into previews, and if you believe previews are the true first appearances of characters, which sometimes they can be. Boost of Gold, I think that one has gone up quite a bit, and then Preacher, obviously, and then I think there's even a Spawn one is considered the first appearance. Depends where the market gravitates to. But anyway, this one has the first appearance of Moon Girl. It has a preview of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #1, which isn't due out until I think it comes out next week, but this preview is obviously predates that. But it's from that issue, so it's just a preview of that issue. It's not like a special story just for this book. But either way, if you believe in previews being the first appearance, this would technically be the first appearance of Moon Girl. I think it's a premise that is just dying for like a Disney kind of a CG movie, even though they're already doing The Good Dinosaur, which is, you know, already a story about a human and a dinosaur hanging out. I think Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is a cool premise, and if they do it right, it can go a lot of places. And hey, it's free. All it does is take up space. That's it for the new releases. This next one is not a new release, but it's within the past month. So I finally got this Contest of Champions #1, the Lino Liu variant. I only got this because the New England Comics I was at had it for $6.99, and anytime I've seen it, it's $11.99 or $15, and then online it can go from 12 to, I think 12 is like the cap right about now, 12, 15. So $6.99 I thought was fine. I was willing to speculate on it for the $6.99. It's hot because of this character here, the White Fox. It's like this Korean character that first appeared in like an online digital only Asian book or Asian Marvel produced digital thing. I don't know. You could probably look it up on Google. I'm sure they have that out there. But anyway, it's their first appearance in like comic book form, as far as I know, and other people are treating it that way too. I don't think she's taken off at all. It's probably just because it's a female character that first appears in a book, and is Asian, I guess. So people are jumping on it as a female character, and I don't know. I guess that's about it. I think she's kind of generic looking, and I didn't realize she had like a towel on the back that looks really lame. So I'm not seeing this character go a lot of places. I think they could have done better if they wanted to get like a Korean superhero. I think there's probably a lot better ideas that people have out there that, you know, wouldn't look so silly. But either way, I think she's called White Fox. Who knows? Maybe she'll take off, maybe she won't. But either way, $6.99 wasn't a bad choice. Anyway, now we're getting into the back issues I picked up and the My Comic Shop haul. The first one I'm going to show off is a gift a friend who took a trip in Europe got me. This is a German copy of their Spider-Man book that is currently reprinting the Spider-Verse. I think it contains like 2 issues. I thought that was pretty cool. I like these weird oddities. This is definitely one of the best Spider-Man covers around, so you can't beat that. Not every day I get a foreign Spider-Man book. And this issue was from New England Comics. Paid $5 for it. This is Amazing 570 second print. I've been looking for this for a while. Don't usually see it. It goes for about 5 to 10 online. I like how it's a wraparound cover. It is one of those second prints that just takes like a panel or a page, or in this case, a spread from the interior and puts it on the cover. You know, it's easy for them to just do that and put out the second print rather than, I guess, trying to commission someone to do a special cover for them. So that's fine. At least it's something different, and it's very cool. It's part of that New Ways to Die storyline that was really hot in the mid-2000s. And yeah, I think there's a couple more from this storyline that I need a second print of, but this was definitely one of the major ones I was looking for, just because of that cover. I really like the cover. Then I took a trip in the dollar bin a bit. You know, this is one of those places that the dollar bin kind of dried up for me. But I did find some stuff in there that I thought was interesting. Captain Universe #1, or Captain Universe Incredible Hulk #1. I just got this because I think it was cool that he's a blue Hulk, and it was $1, so you know, why not? A Hulk with Captain Universe powers. That's pretty terrifying. This one I always see when I'm digging through their dollar bins, and I always pass it up. But I decided to get it this time. He Lives, He Prowls, Spider-Man #1. So this came out in the very early 2000s, like 2001, maybe 2000, maybe even 99. I don't know if it says the date on here. No, it doesn't. But it was between 99 and 2001. But anyway, this was a series of one-shots Marvel did that were comics that were made. The theme was comics that were made in the Marvel Universe. So the idea is that this comic is a Spider-Man comic that exists in the Marvel Universe, and it's how they portray their comic version of Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe. Doesn't make any sense because it's just like a weird parallel what if book. I mean, Spider-Man's like a mutant monster, and Doctor Octopus is a squid. Why would artists and creators in the Marvel Universe make Doctor Octopus a squid and make Spider-Man a monster? I know they're trying to play off of everyone thinks Spider-Man's a menace, but you know, you see him on TV. You clearly know he's not a monster. Why? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's the reason I always avoided this book. But it is a weird one. It is not super easy to find, but it's definitely worthless. I think $1 is probably too much for it. But it's in its own way, it's a fun oddity. They have a bunch of other heroes that were part of this run. They did Daredevil, I think. I think they did Captain America, but not going to be getting any of those. This was the only one that I was even partially interested in. Then we got another $1 Dark Hawk #12. This I only got because it's a fun nostalgic book for me. I actually had this. I got this off the shelf when I was a kid, and I remember my kid cousin ran in the house one day when I was reading comics I had a stack of comics on my nightstand next to the chair I was in, and she grabbed this one off the top and just like crunched the cover. And I was horrified as a kid who thought every comic he had was going to be worth millions of dollars. Obviously, this one never really made the cut, but it's still fun for me to look back on and reminisce. Yeah, and Dark Hawk's fun too, so why not? Took me a long time to replace that one. Untold Tales of Spider-Man #8. This is the first appearance of the Headsman, who's a precursor to the Green Goblin family. At least if you go by this retcon of the Green Goblin family. The theory is that like the Green Goblin had a bunch of henchmen that he was testing out his technology on. So this guy has like a kind of like a goblin glider-ish thing, and he reports to Norman Osborn. Anyway, it was $1, and I really enjoy the Untold Tales of Spider-Man run. If you've never read Untold Tales of Spider-Man, I consider it one of the best runs of in all of Spider-Man comics. Untold Tales of Spider-Man 1 to 25, where 25 is the last issue. I thought they were absolutely fantastic and a lot of fun. I don't have all of them, but this is definitely one I wanted to replace. I had a good number of them, and when I did my comic book purge years ago, that was one of the ones I got rid of. Anyway, so this is Nightside #1. This was also in the dollar bin. It's another one that I always pass up, and I always think about getting. The only reason I got this is because it is a first appearance of this character, Nightside here. I don't believe she'll go anywhere, but it's $1. I always see it. It's from the early 2000s where the print runs on things were not the greatest, and this is already a book that probably would have had a little print run even nowadays. So I'm sure if this were to become hot, it would probably be really hard to find. I don't think it's going to become hot at all. I was digging through the dollar bin. My hands were itchy to buy something, and I was like, okay, I'll finally pick this up. So there you go. Not even sure what her deal is. Let's do one. This is one from eBay I just got today in the mail. This is Amazing Spider-Man #1 from the second series. I had this on my list. This was on my books to look for in 2015. I've been looking for it for a while. It goes for high buy nows on eBay, usually like 25, 30. I can't remember if I've looked at the auctions or past auctions to see what it goes for. I've never seen it in the wild. Not true, actually. I saw it at Boston Comic Con. It was $15. I almost got it then. I thought it was a little too much. I wanted to pay 10 or under for it. That's not what happened here. Saw it on eBay over the weekend, or maybe it was last weekend. It was $11.29, I think, which is a weird number as a buy it now. So I jumped on it. I don't think it was free shipping. It was probably another like 2 or 3 shipping, so I ended up paying almost $15 anyway. But I was kicking myself for not getting that $15 version I saw in Boston Comic Con. So I'm glad I have it. I really like the Sunburst variants, and this was one that was definitely on the top of my list to get. So yeah, it's another one off the 2015 list, and definitely an awesome one to have in the collection. Not a fan of John Byrne, but I do like that Spider-Man picture, so works for me. Now we're getting into my comic shop haul that I picked up, or received today, and yeah, so let's get started. This is Marvel Adventures Spider-Man number 61. The last issue of Marvel Adventures Spider-Man, they ended up relaunching it into Spider-Man Marvel Adventures. I picked this up because it is a first appearance, I believe, of this character here, who is a big nobody. Don't pay attention to her. But I'm always kicking myself for those DC kids books, or like the animated series books that have first appearances of characters that then go for a lot because they weren't printed very high, and any copies that kids had, they probably tore up. Again, I don't think this girl is going to go anywhere, but it's a final issue. I like final issues. Print runs are usually low. It is a first appearance of a character, so why not? And it's Spider-Man, so really can't go wrong there. But yeah, that costume is pretty terrible. I'm not sure what her deal is either. I think she talks to animals or something. Don't quote me on that. Next one I picked up was OMAC Project number 1. This is from the Prelude to Infinite Crisis, which was honestly one of my favorite times in DC Comics. I'm not a DC fan, as you probably know. There are a few times in DC's history that I've been really, really into DC, almost as much as I am Marvel. I would say 3 times. There was the Death of Superman, breaking of Batman's back era. Oh, that was really cool, interesting. There was the Infinite Crisis era. I really loved the build up to Infinite Crisis, and I loved Infinite Crisis. I think I enjoyed the series. I don't remember having any like major problems with it. And the Blackest Night storyline I thought was really incredible. But anyway, so I was picking up these OMAC books when they came out. They were pretty hot when they first came out. I think the first issue was like $15 a few weeks after it came out. Now you can, I think I paid a dollar, maybe $2 for this. The reason I'm showing it up now and the reason I picked it up is because there's a small rumor on some nobody sites saying that OMAC is going to be part of the first Batman standalone movie, and or part of Batman vs Superman in some way or some shape or form. I don't trust these sites, but these things were cheap and I have nostalgic value to them, so I picked it up. And when I say these things, I mean this guy, the first print, and then I also picked up the third print, because you always need that rare one. And if there's a printing that's the last printing and I can find it in a book I like, I will pick it up, because that is the one that is probably printed like garbage, and it's gonna be hard to find. Yeah, that's about that. OMAC. Don't buy into it too much, because like I said, if you look it up on Google, I've never heard of any of those sites that claim that OMAC is going to be in the movie. I also got Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel number 1. This was like $4 or $5. He's one of the characters in that Ultimates book. if you can see here, he's the guy in the middle. I'm not like, I don't even know what his deal is. He kind of, I get the vibe that he's like a Superman knockoff character, just like super strong. I got a cape, I can fly, but I have no idea. I didn't look up any information about him. All I know is that this book is not super easy to find, and he's in the new team that I've been interested in. So I thought I'd grab it while it was available. It's one of those books I had on my want list for a long time on my comic shop, but it just came up recently, so I was like, okay, I will get that. And that's the end of that. This actually goes for about 15 on eBay. You might see like a buy it now that's priced pretty high that someone jumped on. So the cap might be about 20 if you're lucky. And let's see, what else we got here? Marvel Milestones number, I don't even know. Marvel Milestones featuring Venom and Hercules, which is kind of a weird title for this because this reprints Secret Wars 8 and Journey into the Mystery Annual 1. Secret Wars 8 is not the first appearance, nor does it contain Venom in it at all. It just happens to have the origin of the alien costume that Venom wears. So I don't know who made the title for this, but they were probably an intern and didn't know what the hell they were talking about. But nonetheless, it's a black costume appearance. It's got it's a reprint, which may or may not be hard to come by, and it was cheap, so I picked it up. Then we also got a couple of Jessica Jones books here. Start with this guy. What if Jessica Jones had joined the Avengers? What if indeed? So this one is, I got this and the next one I'm going to show off because I can't touch the Alias #1 right now. I don't want to drop that much on a book. So I'm picking up other potential interesting issues of Jessica Jones before the show comes out. What if books are notoriously not printed very high, and just the idea of Jessica Jones, what if she joined the Avengers in the wake of, you know, the character being in the Marvel MCU and the Avengers being there is just kind of a fun thing to see. Yeah, the story is written by Bendis and drawn by Michael Gaydos, the team that did Alias. So it's fun if you were into that book. And one day maybe I'll get Alias #1. I used to have it, and then I foolishly got rid of it years ago. And then this is the new Avengers Annual #1, the wedding of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, which is even more fun because it's drawn by Olivier Coipel, who is the artist that did either House of M or Young Avengers. I can't remember. I get those two artists confused all the time. But it's really awesome art. If you want to see a throwback to if you want to see Olivier Coipel draw the Iron Spider-Man all the livelong day, you should get this just for that alone, because that's kind of fun. It's not a costume you see around anymore, obviously, and it didn't live for very long in the comics. And this guy's an awesome artist, so it's really fun to see him draw that costume. And then I also got Amazing Spider-Man 537 second prints, so that was kind of fun. They listed it as a fine condition. I think it's very fine. I don't see any problems with that guy. Sometimes my comic shop overgrades stuff. Not sure why they do that, but you know, it's always fun. I think I paid like $1 for that one. And then the other ones are all DC books. No, I'm sorry, not all DC books. Let's do the non-DC books first. So I picked this guy up, Star Wars #1. I was avoiding this book like a plague because just being burned from collecting books in the 90s, you know, you get a new #1, it'd splash like it's a collector's item, and then it's printed like a million copies or more, and then it's worthless. Hello X-Force, hello X-Men #1, and hello Spider-Man #1. Although Spider-Man #1, actually, I see people trying to charge like $10 for nowadays, which I think is crazy. But nonetheless, Star Wars 1 came out immediately. It had a print run of 1 million. I was like, nope, Not touching it. This, however, is the 7th print, and I haven't seen this at any of the local comic shops that I go to, and there's quite a few in Boston. So I saw this on my comic shop, and I was like, yes, I will get that. If they make an 8th printing, I'll probably get that, and I'll just keep getting the printings that come out until I find the last one and hold on to them. Because, yeah, just later printings can be kind of tricky to get. You know, the print runs are fairly low. I don't know what the print run is on this. It might still be high, but 7. I was like, okay, I'll start getting them now. And then we get Death's Head comic number 8. This is Death's Head verse or whatever. Doctor Who was a big character in the UK. He's a big character in the US as well now, but this was in the 80s. So they had him in the Death's Head comic because, you know, why not? So that's fun. This one is probably the more in-demand Death's Head comic, just because of that Doctor Who appearance. I always see this pop up on my comic shop and then disappear just as quick. So I finally snagged it. It doesn't go for a lot, maybe $2-3, but still, there is interest in it. Last 4. So these are all DC books, which is kind of weird for me. I feel kind of weird. Batman number 672. This is the maybe first appearance of Michael Lane, the second Azrael. I don't really know. If you try to look up the first appearance of Michael Lane, the internet fails big time. Some places say 665, some places say 666, some places say 672, some places say 675. I don't know which one it is. So I heard more people say 672, so I jumped on this one. And it wasn't expensive, so I figured why not. I'll probably go for 670 or 666 next, just for the hell of it. But yeah, so that's that. I mean, and the reason I got this is because of that. I love Azrael, my favorite DC character. They announced the Order of Saint Dumas, which created Azrael, is going to be a part of the Gotham series, which means maybe Azrael won't be too far behind. But anyway, I wanted to grab these books before they become out of reach, and they're not like heating up or anything, but you never know. Next one I got was Detective Comics 838, the first appearance of the Michael Lane Azrael's armor, the Suit of Sorrows. Talia Al Ghul gives it to Batman. And then we get Detective Comics 842. This is a issue all about the Suit of Sorrows, where it came from, what its histories are, what it does to people, Batman trying to get rid of it. End of story. He ends up putting it in his Batcave on display. And then the other one I got was Azrael number 1 from that same Michael Lane Azrael. That's about it. That's all I've got. And that was a pretty big haul. I've got 2 more books from eBay coming in that I was pretty excited about, but I really didn't want to wait to show these off because I usually don't put them away in my boxes till I can show them off, because then I don't want to try to dig through them and remember which ones I picked up if it's like a week or 2 later. So I keep them out, and you know, these were stacking up. So I was like, okay, I need to start putting these away before they start getting knocked over. Anyway, yeah. So I got 2 more coming. This week looks like it's big new release week, so maybe I'll do a video in a week or 2, depending. But yeah, hope you guys are all doing good. Thanks for watching, and talk to you all later.